Hi, good morning. Paul Slakis, Good News Broadcast, speaking to Dr. Michael Blaiss. Hi, doctor. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. How are you?
Okay, and Jeff May. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Good.
Great. Jeff is a certified indoor air quality professional and author of My House is Killing Me and Healthy Home Tips. And Dr. Blaiss, am I saying your last name correctly?
Blaiss, like a fire.
Okay, Blaiss is an allergist and a clinical professor of pediatrics and medicine at the University of Tennessee. And we're going to talk about what you need to know to sweep away your allergens this spring. Okay, allergens. Well, what is it? What are allergens, doctor?
Well, in fact, allergens are natural substances in the air, whether we're talking about dust mites, mold spores, animal danders, pollens, where certain individuals, because of a genetic tendency, will produce an allergic reaction to them. And those allergic reactions are the sneezing and the nose running and the nose itching, eyes watering and itching, related to their allergies. One of the most common chronic conditions in both the pediatric and adult population.
Okay, how would they get into a house?
Well, in fact, houses that have high humidity, in fact, will have high levels of growth of dust mite and mold spores. Obviously, if one has a cat or a dog in the home, in fact, we know that cats have now overtaken dogs as the #1 animal in homes in the United States, and in fact, they have high allergen levels. So indoor allergies are extremely common as we spend basically 90% of our day now indoors.
Okay. So, Jeff, how do we then, if these are our concerns, we want to have a cat in the house, we want to live a full, productive life. What steps and what kinds of things can we do to, in essence, to control this situation?
Well, it's clean, really. I mean, I think most important is to just get the dust away, and because the allergens are the things that accumulate in the dust. So you want to clean in this, particularly now with this campaign, the Clean Sweep campaign. You want to clean in places where you don't normally clean. So places like behind the bed, under pieces of furniture. And even under the refrigerator in the kitchen and behind the refrigerator, behind the dryer. It's very important to get any kind of dust out where there's really a lot of airflow, particularly. So that's how the allergens will get into the air.
You want to also get that dust out behind the refrigerator because it can clog up your refrigerator.
Well, yeah, that's true, actually. It does. The dust buildup reduces the efficiency tremendously. So there are lots of tips on the website, www.cleansweepcontest.com. There are tips. There's actually videos on how to look around and actually how to clean things in a way that would be less sort of problematic for people that who have allergy issues.
Well, let's speak about, they have a contest. What is this Clean Sweep contest?
Well, for the contest, people write a testimonial on how their nasal allergies affect their lives, basically. It's a 500-word or less written submittal, and they can actually ask questions about cleaning as well, and then they'll get a response. And the prize is they were going to be giving out 100 free copies of My House is Killing Me, the book that I wrote, and really, the book helps people, again, to improve their lives, to reduce their exposure to allergens.
Doctor, when they say nasal allergies, so in essence, do some of these or most of these go into your body through the nose?
They can definitely go through the nose. That's one of the major areas, but also can hit the eyes and cause allergic eye problems. And in fact, you can inhale the allergens and even trigger asthma problems. The important point here is that nasal allergies can lead to chronic ear infections in children, chronic sinus disease, even flare-ups of asthma. So it's extremely important that patients understand they don't have to suffer this spring with their allergy problems, that they need to get to their physician. They need to get diagnosed, and then things as Jeff mentioned, but very importantly, get on proper treatment to control the condition. One of those medications is Xyzal, which is a once-a-day treatment to help control nasal allergies. And in some patients, maybe even the role of allergen immunotherapy or allergy shots to desensitize the patient. But the key point that I want your audience to understand is that you don't have to live with this. Get to your physician. There are great medications, treatments that can really help you get through this spring season.
Okay. Now, does it affect, well, you do pediatrics in the University of Tennessee, so will children be affected more than an adult?
In fact, when we look at the statistics, in fact, there is a higher rate of allergies in the pediatric population. In fact, some studies suggest as high as 40%. I do see adults, and we see levels around 20 to 25%. So when you think about it, lots, over 60 million Americans, in fact, suffer with this condition. So it is a major problem throughout the United States, and there is no allergy-free area of the United States. This is a problem throughout the United States.
Jeff, do you if you came into my house, how would you clean it? What would you do, and what would be some steps that you would suggest? You don't know my house, but just in general, I'm an apartment in New York on a ground level that somehow gets a lot of even dust from the street of New York.
Well, I say again, probably the best thing would be to really thoroughly vacuum and to actually look around with a mirror and a flashlight, because you can actually look under things. You can't believe the things that you find under pieces of furniture and under beds, behind beds. So you go around, you clean with a HEPA vacuum. You can dust with a damp cloth or an electrostatic cloth rather than a brush, to move the dust around into the air, and then clean with a mask. They're actually double strap face masks. They cost about $1 a piece, and you wear that, and they make a huge difference in terms of the exposure to allergens.
If you don't have, say, a HEPA vacuum, you have a more traditional vacuum. They have some bags also that are specially made now that make sure that the pollutants stay in the bag. Is that
correct?
So?
Yeah, I think they probably have a greater filter capacity on the bag, because when you're vacuuming, you're sucking up a lot of air, and then the bag kind of filters the dust out. It's like a coffee filter. It should really keep the coffee in the filter. Some of it gets through, so it's the amount of that stuff that actually gets out into the air that can cause problems. So it's a good idea to for people who have allergy problems, they can cover their hair while they're cleaning, keep some windows open as long as it's not a bad allergy season for them, and even leave the house after they clean for a while to let the dust settle.
Doc, how does somebody know if they have asthma?
Usually it starts with respiratory problems. Most commonly is the development of a chronic cough, and then many times they'll start noticing chest tightness, difficulty breathing, and even wheezing. So any patient that in fact feels like, any person that they're getting into, especially during particular times of year, such as the spring and the fall, where they start having repetitive coughing, difficulty breathing, chest tightness, especially if they're waking up at night with difficulty breathing, again, they need to get to their physician. Asthma can in fact be a life-threatening condition. Almost 5,000 Americans a year die from asthma. And the good news is that we also, as with nasal allergies, have excellent ways of diagnosing and, very importantly, managing the condition. And this is not something you want to play around with. You want to get to your physician.
Doctor, you shared some good news with us. Mike, Jeff, what's last question? What's good news for you?
Can I say this on the air?
Of course.
Well, then I'll just say a nice sunny day.
I think that's a great, beautiful, wonderful thought. Beautiful. All right, guys, thank you both very much. We'll send our audience over to cleansweepcontest.com. You guys always both have a lot of positive, important information for people's health, so thank you very much for sharing it.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.